Hey everybody, and welcome to a brand new series on the channel. This is We the Revolution, and let's just be honest, I was supposed to be recording Six Sages, Ride Like the Wind today, but I just wasn't feeling it. So I looked in my recent purchases, games I haven't played yet, games I haven't recorded yet, and this was sitting in there. It's kind of a French Revolution trial simulator. It's a courtroom simulator. I know really nothing more about it than what we're seeing here, and I've seen the next screen because it caused me questions. So let's go ahead and flip over to the next screen and see what we got. Select mode, fiction or survival. But the reason why I had to look it up a little bit, because fiction just says, this is the description of the fiction mode. Yeah, that doesn't really give you good vibes when literally the second thing that you click in the game, or maybe the third thing, I wasn't really counting. It's less than 5. It's one of the first few screens you see, says, it's just a placeholder text. This is the description of the fiction mode. And then we have survival. Survival is a variant of the main game focusing on the court trials. It goes in which the goal is to keep the main character alive and work for as long as possible. So this is the variant, this is the main game. So we will be playing the main game, fiction mode. And I guess I need to create a new profile. So we'll just put ACP here for Awesome Corn Possum. And create a profile. We the Revolution. Now we get the option screen. So we didn't even have the options screen before to change any of the settings, which is, it's kind of weird that it just starts us at this profile mode. But let's go ahead and give it a start and see what happens. Polyslash. Never heard of them. Yes?
I am here. Do you hear me?
I hear you.
I gave you the best I could. Why did you disown me? I have your blood in my veins. How could you?
So your father has set the rabble after you to kill you?
Do I mean nothing to you?
And then they beat your brains in.
Why did you grieve for him?
Oh no, it's another guy.
He was nothing. I am better than he was. People will follow in my footsteps.
You beat someone's brains in and then they came for your head.
Father.
Okay, sure. Hopefully the rest of the game kind of, follows up on that and explains to me what I really didn't get there. Okay. So France, turn of the 18th century. The Prologue. Is that you and your father? Are you barfing? And wiping your mouth on the French flag? How dare you, sire? Okay, so apparently that was Raymond de Voyer. Again, a game that I have to try to pretend like I know French. I don't know French, you guys, so excuse my pronunciation for the next however long this series is. Remind me next time that I want to stop drinking this cloudy rot gut. Remind me before I drink it. We're disgracing Themis. Ha. Is someone coming? Well, who's Themis, by the way? This was bound to happen, says Matilda Fidele. Or Fidel. I told you, says Bernard Fidel. And Frederic Fidel. Papa, you said we would go. You promised. Papa had a lot of work. Okay. Yes, a lot of heavy glasses. You promised me. I can't anymore. I'm fed up with asking. I could use some music game. It's real quiet right now. What the heck, guys? Mama is angry because... Quiet. Today, your favorite son wanted to prove he was more honorable than his father, so he started a fight. A 5-year-old boy, for God's sake. Our neighbors wanted you to explain that to them, but, well, you were fighting for justice at an inn. Damn you, you bloody drunk. Okay, so we have a boy that started a fight, and the father who was drinking at the time. Mother. Alright, what do you expect from me? Can I please get some music? Anytime now? Drag and drop documents to manage their layout. Click to display their contents. Okay, I guess you're not going to display the contents right off the bat. Sure. React to events. Ignoring them may have severe consequences. Notebook to review detailed information about current events, actions, and characters. And the verdict to consider the effects and decide the defendant's fate. And here you click to change the game settings. Sure. And here you review the current balance of power in Paris. And here we know about intrigues. Intrigues are complex conflicts between you and another political player. A defeat may turn out to be disastrous for you. Influence points are the main currency in the game. Use them wisely. Okay, can we please just get it moving along? Snap, snap. Notifications. Pay close attention to the changes in your influence and relations with factions. And global modifiers. Some of your decisions and changes in the world of the game may cause global modifiers to come into action. These factors include relations, reputation, and influence. You can review them in the notebook. First of all, what I want to know... Okay, we only have the options of return and menu. Return? Alright, so let's see. What do we have here? To Judge Alexis Fidel. Oh. Our name is Fidel? That's our family? We were the drunk father? Oh, he's the older brother? I'm so confused. He did say mother, but I thought it was a weird, like, somehow, you know, married people call each other father and mother. I don't know. To Judge Alexis Fidel, we have not expected this kind of behavior from your son, although apparently we should have. Innocent child's play has turned into an assault on our children. And what are these? Excuse me? Child's play, fighting children. Oh, finding the links. You're like throwing things at me, game. Find the correct links to unlock questions for the defendant. Choose the line of inquiry and click it and link it to the right category. While linking lines of inquiry and categories, you can make a limited number of mistakes. If you make too many mistakes, the whole system will become locked. Some cases may contain traps. Read through the files thoroughly to find the lines of inquiry that are irrelevant. And there's apparently one trap. Can we just back up and read the letter again? Innocent child's play has turned into an assault on our children. The younger one, Antoine, now has a chipped front tooth. We hope that you will punish your child accordingly. Should the situation repeat itself, we will react more decisively. I'm sure we can deal with a gambler and a drunkard. Even if he is a judge, we will not let our children be hurt. So it's an assault. And let's just move on. We got the news. Come on, game. You're throwing too many things at me at once. Make your decision. Each action may require a different number of influence points and have a different chance of success. Consider them carefully. Neighborhood gossip. Your addictions are no longer a secret. The fact that other children are bullying your son because of them is a minor problem. But who is spreading those rumors? It is likely to be one of their parents. They could have whispered into the children's ears whom they shouldn't play with and why. They might even have spiced the story up with a lie. But who will hear it next? I can intimidate the parents for 3 influence points, but that's all the influence points we have. We can talk eye to eye for 1 influence point, or we can just ignore things. You know what? Let's just use an influence point, sure. I don't know how important they are, but I don't want to spend all of mine. Let's just talk it out eye to eye here, guys. What do you have to say for yourself? Like, that's what I clicked, right? I clicked it. Influence point -1. Negative relations with factions mean negative consequences for you. For example, the fervor in Paris is rising. Reputation impacts everything in the world of the game. Factions, family relations, the audience's attitude, the fervor in the sections, and even the ability to persuade other characters. You have a set number of influence points per day. Okay. Per day. In the future, you will be able to increase this limit. Alright, so we did that. And what's in our notebook? No global modifiers. We haven't put any sentences out on anybody. And also I clicked right off the screen. Oh, so these are my friends and family. Matilda Fidel, the wife. Bernard Fidel, the eldest son. Frederic Fidel, the youngest son. Aldrich Fidel, the father. And Raymond Devoyer, the mentor. Okay, so I understand. I gotcha. So, son, tell me. Gather information and influence the jury's attitude by questioning the defendant. To ask questions, you have to first unlock them in the Inquiries linking menu. Being in the jury's good graces allows you to find out which ways they will sway after you've asked the question. Okay, so we got to do this first. We got to do this whole unlocking the questions thing. So we have innocent children, child's play, led to an assault, and now a boy has a chipped front tooth. Course of events, extenuating circumstances, a victim. And we're supposed to link things. So, child's play, possibility of repeating, chipped tooth, injured Antoine, fighting children. I mean, didn't they just lead... Course of events? Question discovered. Okay. Possibility of repeating. Extenuating circumstances? Apparently no, that was wrong. What is extenuating circumstances? I mean, I know what that means, but what is the possibility of repeating? I don't get it, game. Injured Antoine is the victim. Chipped tooth is also the victim. Fighting children is cause of a course of events. Oh, the repeating thing was a trap. It wasn't even important. That's what that was. Okay. How did your play turn into a fight? What exactly were they saying? Who started the fight? Did you really break Antoine's tooth? How did your playing turn into a fight? Our neighbors, Antoine and Jean, they were saying mean things about you. We were playing guards and they asked me to pretend to be a drunkard whom they would, you know, like beat up, you mean? You were fighting both of them at once? I had to. And what exactly were they saying? Are you too drunk to guess? Shh. Quiet, Bernard. I am your father. I will kick you out of this courtroom, sir. I was not asking you. They were yelling that you are, well, I told them that it's not true. And they started calling me names. They called me a drunkard, son. Well, son, I have to tell you that seems to be the truth. Well, who started it? Did you punch them first, son? I can tell you who ended it. Bernard, I told you once. I think it was me. I kicked the one on the left and then wanted to get the one on the right, but they ended it. They knocked me to the ground and paid me back for hitting them. And did you really break Antoine's tooth? Frederic is just a child. I don't know. I don't think so. Did you hit him in the face? I think I kicked him, but not that hard. Well, you know, he could have had a weak tooth. You don't know. Is that all? Can I ask anyone else? Was anyone else there as a witness? Can I bring in the other children? Let's check the verdict then, I guess. Make the most important decision. Condemn the defendant or deem them not guilty. Sign the document to legitimize your verdict. A jury is unavailable in this case. Well, son, sorry, but you're guilty. I find the defendant guilty of the offense with which they were charged. Yep. Even if they were being mean to you, you know, sticks and stones and all that, you didn't have to punch them. Your father is signing his name. Just Fidel, okay? Unfortunately, you should not start fights, regardless of the reason. Those children are so small, and they already know the truth. The father of my children is a lying drunk and a gambler. Bernard used to worship you, but he soon grew up. Now it is Frederic's turn to learn the truth that echoes in the streets. Getting the sense that you are not too fond of me, my wife. And you, Raymond, you're supposed to be my husband's mentor. Is this what you wanted to teach him? How to repeat your mistakes and lose his family? I was unaware that Matilda had such a temper. She's talking to you, sir. You do not have to speak as if she's not here. You can respond. As was I. Well, I know. I believe you knew she had a temper, sir. This isn't a new thing. We will wait outside, as always. Well, at least we get some music now. It's not deathly quiet.
Paris.
Liberté!
We were enchanted by the idea of freedom. We could not resist it.
And then we started murdering aristocrats.
Whole families took to the streets.
And watched the hangings.
France was never so happy. We were enchanted by the idea of freedom.
I mean, it's just an everyday hanging. Just, you know, take your family out to the park and watch a aristocrat get hanged. Eat the rich and all that. Act 1, Liberté. Day 1. Okay, there's some background sounds this time. That's good. Expected sentence. Find out which verdict is expected by the factions and your close ones. Okay. The common folk and the revolutionaries expect this man to go to prison. So everyone, except for the aristocrats, I guess, if they're a faction. No one expects him to be acquitted. We're back to 3 influence points. I guess we should have used all 3 influence points before, but I guess it doesn't really matter. Because I didn't see anything out of that. Hierarchy is glowing, so we will click that and see what that's all about. Here is Fidel, a judge of the Revolutionary Tribunal, generally considered a drunkard and a gambler, a protege of Raymond de Volier, who introduced him into the world of law and regulations. In private, he's an unremarkable character. I mean, we're remarkably a drunk. And up at the top, is, of course, who else would be at the top of the food chain in the revolution? Good old Robespierre. Owing to his passionate devotion to the revolutionary cause, he is widely referred to as the Incorruptible, as leader of the radical Jacobins. He preserves order in the National Convention with an iron fist, and if need to be, terror. Undeniably the most powerful man in Paris at the age of the Revolution. As yet, none have dared defy him. Well, we might, considering how things could change. Neighborhood gossip. Reputation +2. Oh, so this is what happens. This is the resolution for what we chose before. The exchange of pleasantries did not take long. Most people stopped being brave the moment they faced danger. This time, the dangers could be described as the judge of the Revolutionary Tribunal and a 1-meter-long bludgeon in the hand of a guard. So we went to them and kind of roughed them up a little bit, or at least intimidated them. Once the last words had left your mouth, the man's gaze dropped to the ground. He did not even look at the weapon held by the guard, who was eager to hear just one word of objection. That should deal with the problem. Reputation +2 because we intimidated a guy to stop talking behind our back. Nothing new in the notebook. I guess it would probably glow. Something about sections. We don't understand what that's all about, but I'm sure we'll figure it out eventually. We got protocol. What is protocol? Review the trial's records. Well, there's no records right now. We haven't done anything. Case file. Jean Reynard, a 45-year-old innkeeper, has been charged with fraud. He's accused of diluting alcohol in his tavern, tricking his clients into paying extra. Guests came with their minds set on a specific goal, getting roaring drunk. But instead of staggering out after drinking 2 pitchers of wine or several pints of beer, they would sit in the inn until morning, still sober and completely penniless. The innkeeper's fraud came to light when one of the customers discovered the scam and caught the cheater in the act. The man entered the host's cellar and witnessed him diluting the alcohol in the barrels with ordinary water. As a result, customers received only 4 parts of what they paid for and 1 part from the water carrier. Okay, so they got 80%. They got 4/5 of what they paid for. I mean, that's not a huge dilution. I guess they might have recognized if it was more diluted than that. I mean, I doubt that one could sit in the inn until morning and still be sober. You guys weren't trying too hard. 80% liquor and all that, or beer. We have diluting alcohol, getting roaring drunk, or trying to get roaring drunk. Then someone discovered the scam. Alright, the method. Diluting the alcohol is definitely a method. Adding water is a method. Witnesses exposed the innkeeper. And the motive was to not get people drunk. All questions unlocked. There we go. We're the smartest human being alive. Sir, what do you have to say for yourself? In difficult times, people like to seek peace at the bottom of a glass. Okay, Raymond. Please introduce yourself. My name is Jean Reynard, Monsieur le Juge. Nothing but a fraud. Systematically exposing or opposing the opinion of the jury may lead to serious consequences. Can we tell them they cannot call out? Hey, order the courtroom. Questions for the defendant. How long have you been involved in the illegal practice of diluting alcohol? How do you feel about tricking weary citizens? Please call in Thomas Leclerc. Do your clients drink a lot? So these are, we want him to go to jail if we pick these. Tell me, sir, how do you feel about, well, do your clients drink a lot, sir? Do your clients drink a lot? Tavern regulars usually drink a lot. So you've been selling plenty of wine. Quite a lot, yes. And yet you have been paying taxes on the amount of wine you have bought, not the amount of wine you've been selling, correct? You're paying taxes on the amount of wine you have bought, not the amount of wine you have been selling. Okay, so you're trying to say, well, you know, he sold the same amount of wine that he bought. Is there a tax on selling water? I don't understand. You've been paying taxes on 4 wine barrels, but by adding a quarter of water to each, you've actually made the money for selling 5 barrels of wine. It's one way of putting it. Perhaps it is correct. I'm not too good with numbers. You're not good with numbers, yet good enough to have calculated that fraud pays off? I wasn't aware. I will take that answer into account. The judge has exposed the bastard. Okay, so we are leaning more... Well, we'll figure it out. Let's call in Thomas LeClaire. Who's Thomas LeClaire? Please call in Thomas LeClaire. Is he the witness? Please introduce yourself. Thomas LeClaire. I'm a regular at Jean Renard's establishment. How long you suspected that something was wrong with Mr. Renard's alcohol? Or how did you catch Citizen Renard in the act of diluting wine with water? Now, please tell me, what led you to be suspicious? How long have you suspected? I became suspicious about a month ago. Plenty of wine jugs were emptied, but instead of getting more drunk, I was just getting sober. It was already dawn when I realized I had no money left on me, and I was as sober as a baby. How was that possible? Back then I didn't realize customers were being served a proper first drink and then receiving more and more water in the drinks after that. Being slightly drunk, they weren't able to notice the difference. I don't know. I don't know if that's true. Was it like that every time? Every single time. Okay, so the meter has tipped up a little more towards the gallows, and actually that's the guillotine. I want to call Mr. What's his face back because I had a second question for him. I don't want to ask any more questions to you. I want to ask Mr. What's his face. Bring What's his face back. Call back Thomas LeClaire. How long have you been involved in the legal practice? Will you admit to it, sir? It's not an illegal practice. Everyone adds a bit. In your case, it was a bit of water, a wine in the water, not the other way around. Have you been doing this for a long time? A few weeks at most. It's been hard to earn a living lately. I used to run an honest business. Pure wine was overspilling the glasses. Is there any proof to support your testimony? He lied to his customers. No reason he wouldn't lie to court. Well, it looks like we want to lock you up, sir. How do you feel about tricking citizens, sir? Terrible. But all I wanted was to keep my business afloat. Others don't mess around for sure. No diluting would be the end of me. So you decided to commit fraud so as to not lose money. If I lost my tavern, my family would starve to death. Do you have children? I do. 1 son and 2 daughters. Time to start saving up for the dowry. And why don't you send them to work, you idiot? I mean, right now, the jury's opinion is for you as prison, sir. And it's dangerously close to beheading. I have no more questions, apparently. And I think we will have to imprison you. I mean, you admitted it. I hate for your children, because without you to support them, it's probably bad for them, but you should have probably thought about that before you admitted to fraud, sir. Choose a verdict to see its influence on the faction. Risk of death, reputation bonus. So this is risk of being removed from office. So we do not want to go down here. We want positives. We can send him to prison or we can acquit him. The jury votes in favor of incarcerating the defendant. They find the punishment sufficient. So if we said prison, both the common folk and the revolutionaries like us a little more. If we said acquittal, they will like us. Well, common folk will like us less, and revolutionaries like us less, but not quite as much less, I guess is the way to say it. But it's prison for you, sir. Sentence citizens Jean Renaud to prison. Lead the condemned out. Huzzah! Long live pure wine. There we go. After trial, click to move on to the next part. Okay. Common folks like us +5. Revolutionaries like us +3. Moving on. And who are you, sir? Jacques-Louis David? May I remind you that you have promised to join me. I have a feeling that tonight's moon favors gamblers. Oh, so we're gambling now? Though it does not favor spouses. God should grace us with wives who understand the importance of an evening game of dice. They should also know that the right amount of wine guarantees a lucky roll, does it? I should go home. Bringing a judge to the game has benefits. Other players will surely not cheat. That is not a strong argument. My name is Jacques-Louis David. I am but a humble painter, not a silver-tongued judge. You are a sly politician, Jack. As a politician, I understand the importance of keeping promises, and you, my friend, are trying to get out of yours. Yes, I am, because my wife really hates me right now. I'm sorry, Jack. I know you're probably going to dislike me about this, and, you know what? Family before politics. I'm sorry, sir. Not tonight, Jack. So they're all having a fun time with an empty chair and I'm not there. And here's my family looking at our peas and roast and potatoes and being very silent. I mean, I can't tell if this is a real smile on my wife's face or if she's like just smirking that, I finally got him. I won. Late evening, the judge's house. What? Silence. Do you not want to berate me like you always do? I'm glad you're home. Are you aware that Frederic sometimes imagines you as a deep-sea sailor? He dreams that you visit distant countries and have wonderful adventures. But he would rather have you by his side, on land. We all want that. I don't want to watch the storm blow your lifeboat away and bury it beneath the waves. There are no waves. The storm is getting closer. Dark clouds already hang over the shore. Just wait until they finish building the guillotine. Your oars will break as once. And the waves will take you to a place you'll wish you'd never set foot on. Okay, so she's saying that things are getting crazy around here. And you're all caught up in this. And once they start beheading people, it's going to be a no fun time. A place without us. Okay. No fun time. Your family loves you, but we won't find you in the darkness. It has already begun to reach you. So she does not agree with the whole murder all the aristocrats, huh? Family actions. Upon returning home, you can decide how would you like to spend the rest of the day. Each action will affect the other members of the family, as well as their attitude towards you. Each character's attitude can provide you with or deprive you of certain bonuses. Your youngest son is special. His attitude makes the other family members like you slightly more. Take good care of him. Well, I was going to. You don't have to tell me twice. We're not a deep sea captain. We're here for you, Frederic. Yes, I just had to look up my own son's name. It's okay. It's been a hard day. We can do some political debate. We have Bernard. We have Aldric. Aldric is me. If I have political debate, I can choose. It's time for the grown men to talk about the revolution's achievements. It should be an interesting exchange. So it's me and Bernard. Playtime with the children is everyone included. Spend your evening in your energy on carefree playtime with your sons. Your wife's needs can wait. Oh, the red outline. So the red means she will not like it. Political debate means I will not like it, but Bernard will like it. So apparently I do not like my son's politics. I gotcha. Evening with grandfather. No one likes it. Sit down with your father and listen to stories of days gone by. I like it. Kids don't like it so much. Or demonstration. Take your sons to a pro-revolutionary demonstration. Let them see real life up close. Parents dislike it, and children like it. So the children are pro-revolution? I don't understand. Okay, whatever. Let's just play with the kids. Come on. Your wife can wait. Even though she told me to spend time with my children. Why is she mad at this? Alright, so Frederic passed over some sort of milestone there, and it seemed like he was influencing other people as they said that he would. So let's go through another game, or another day, and then we'll end the episode. Today the people of Paris commemorate Jacques-Guillaume Simonot, mayor of Etampes. Again, I have no idea how to pronounce this stuff. He was lynched by a furious mob for performing his duties to France. This march shall symbolize the unity of our society and hope that the most violent stage of the revolution is past us. Let us make sure that no other loyal servant of France becomes a victim of such hatred ever again. That wasn't the Jacques we were just talking to, right? That was a different guy? So, the mayor of Etampes was lynched, and let's not have this happen again. Simonot was a good, loyal officer. Those bastards lynched him for observing the law. Will you join me at the march? I don't know. Can I read the letter again? I mean, yes. We shouldn't be lynching people for just going about their business, doing their jobs. Sure, I'll join you. We ought to show that we oppose the self-appointed executioners and stand alongside the victims. I wonder why the king has taken the trouble to show up. Louis the 16th, marching arm in arm with the people of Paris, that is unexpected. King Louis. Continue, please. I'm merely an observer. Do not change your habits for me. I heard a thing or two about a young and ambitious judge of the tribunal. I was curious whether he is guided by justice or entertainment, as some would say. Oh, the king is here. Influence points +3. Good relations with your younger son. Your younger son adores you, like he used to back in better days. And this is our son's drawing. For Papa. We are victorious against demons. Or our son is. I don't know who's this. Is this us or is this our son? But someone is victorious against demons. And we have here some guy. The revolutionaries want him in prison. The common folk want him acquitted. What was the other thing that he was telling me? Just reputation went up. Okay, what's the case file? This is compiled by Nathan de Esseroff for theft and burglary. The defendant is Olivier Mugler, a 65-year-old master locksmith who is famed among Parisian burglars as an expert on unopenable locks. Last month, he was commissioned by the owners of Parisian glasswork, Jean Roux, Louis Roux, and Ferdinand Salon, to construct locks for ornate chests for valuables, presumably as gifts for their wives. The craftsman praised his latest creation as thief-proof. Shortly following their completion, the industrialists' houses were hit by a series of burglaries committed by a recent newcomer to Paris, Hector Villon. The thief from Orleans was caught in the act and shot by Ferdinand Salon. An expensive Turgot map of Paris with the houses of the recently robbed industrialists marked on them was found on the deceased. Surprisingly, Salon has given Muller, I don't know how to pronounce that, whatever, I'm going to say it different ways every time. Salon had given him an identical map as advance payment. The deposit was in addition to the agreed remuneration for all the employers. And you said there's a second page? There's a second page. I have to literally drag it across. Further interesting information came from the owner of the Ginger Margot Inn. She recalled that on the night preceding the burglary, the locksmith met there with a man she didn't recognize. Based on her description, we were able to identify him as the aforementioned Hector Vian. The men allegedly engaged in an evening of drinking sponsored by Muller. Evidence, a map of Paris was found on Hector Vian. So this Olivier guy, we won't try to pronounce his last name anymore. Olivier is a locksmith. He made some locks for these individuals, said they were thief-proof, and then as soon as they had them to put all their valuables in, this other guy comes in that has a list of where all the locks are, and he's actually found inside one of the houses with a damning map, and we have an eyewitness that puts them together before the crime. Okay, that seems pretty damning. Let's unlock some questions, I guess. Course of events, evidence, accusation, offender's personality, extenuating circumstances. The master locksmith is, I don't know, lock construction, map of Paris, drunken evening, marks on the map. We didn't have any information about marks on the map. Famous thief, series of burglaries. Drunken evening is an accusation. That's not an accusation. Drunken evening is a evidence. That's not an evidence. Drunken evening is a course of event. Thank you. Map of Paris is an evidence. Master locksmith, lock construction. Like, I don't really, I mean, course of events and evidence sounds very similar. Series of burglaries is a course of event. There we go. Lock construction is a course of event. Master locksmith. Famous thief is the offender's personality. That's not correct. We are out of possible mistakes. Master locksmith is course of events. Well, your mentor's help cost 2 influence points. So their mentor had to help us because we were too stupid to figure out where everything goes. So we lost a couple influence points. Yay for us. Like, do we really need to go through all this? Marks on the map is evidence. A famous thief was not the offender's personality. And it's not, cannot be considered an accusation either. It's only evidence or course of events. Master locksmith is extenuating circumstances? No, that's... Are you the offender? You are the offender's personality. Okay. Famous thief. Evidence. There we go. Didn't I select you already? Master locksmith is also extenuating circumstances? It can be more than one thing? Did we get the second one? Yeah, so you don't have to click on each page. It's all one thing. Alright, thank you, mentor, for helping me. I'm sorry I did not check the hierarchy. It was glowing at me. Now we know that David and Borel. David is an artist and a politician. His paintings often refer to the revolution. When it comes to his political career, he is an efficient deputy of the convention. Those two areas of his life are blending together and feeding back on themselves. For example, when he led the closure of the Académie Française, the French Academy, okay? The same institution he had rejected for many years. He is a longtime friend of Judge Fidel. And then we have Burrell, the aging commander of the National Guard. He has seen enough not to put trust in ordinary people, even if they were to start a revolution. Okay, so can we talk to you now, sir? Robbing the bourgeoisie is no crime. According to the case files, you are citizen Olivier Moulet. Is that correct? Indeed it is, Monsieur le Juge. Is that how you say judge? Like master of the judge? I don't know. Isn't that like play? I don't know. I don't know French. May I have a request? I would like to sit down. I'm an old man, you see. Basic respect for the judiciary requires that you remain standing. Do the names Salon, Rude, and Roux mean anything to you? Why are you so determined to harass an old man? They sound like names of my debtors. Debtors? They are victims of activities you conducted. You mean locksmithing? Yes. Yeah, locksmiths. Or, they were your customers. You were commissioned by the victims to make chest locks. Do you know Hector Villon, or did you know Hector Villon before this? Do you recognize this map? Were you the one who marked the addresses of the 3 victims on the map? How much did you charge for your services? I don't know if that's really relevant to the case, honestly. Did you give Hector Villon the map? Rumor has it that you were one of the best locksmiths in Paris. Or did you tell Hector Villon how to open the locks? So let's establish your credibility or your expertise. What can you tell me about your skill in locksmithing? Rumor has it that you were one of the best locksmiths in Paris. I should deny it for modesty's sake, but I will not. That cannot be true, though, as a random thief from Orleans was able to open your locks. Well, then he must have been one of the best thieves in Orleans. Let's be serious, monsieur. Every lock can be picked with the right talents, even my locks. Okay. So you were commissioned by the victims. You were commissioned by the victims to make chest locks. Who installed them? It was me, naturally. And all in agreement with the contract. My job was to prepare and install the locks, and the employer was only to come and see me when the work was completed. And pay, of course. Was the installation carried out at your workshop? No, on site, at the client's property. None of those idlers bothered to deliver the trunks to my workshop, so I had to strain my old legs. Does that mean you know the addresses of the victims? How else would I get there? Blindfolded and on a wagon? Do you recognize this map, sir? No, I don't recall ever seeing it before. Ferdinand Salon claims he gave you this map as advance payment for your services. He claims what? That wicked wretch of a second-rate merchant? He gave me a scrap of paper as payment for making 3 locks and says it's supposed to be worth more than 3,000 francs he owes me. An honest laborer is being judged while fraud remains at large. Silence. So this map does belong to you? It doesn't. So where is the map that you received from Citizen Salon? I lost it, but it wasn't even worth a loaf of bread, so I surely would shed a tear. But if you have it, maybe you stole it from me. You better make a note that Olivier, my last name, demands remuneration from Rude, Lou, and Salon. Well, you're talking about, now you've established that payment is important, so how much did you charge for your services then? 3,000 francs. You said that. Tidy sum, that is. If you were a master locksmith, you'd charge that much too. That's quite a substantial fee. Indeed, that's how much it costs to have high-quality locks made by a master with nearly 50 years of experience. And those bastards never paid me a single franc. The victims did not pay you? Not a franc. I'd beat that money right out of them, but I'm too old for that. Okay, did you mark the addresses of... Can you go ahead and deny that you put the addresses on the map? Were you the one that marked the addresses of the 3 victims on the map? I didn't mark anything. The houses of your clients are marked on this map, sir. I don't know who marked them. Maybe you should ask the person you found the map on. Maybe the court has made the marks and has no memory doing so. Do you think there are too many coincidences? Do you not think there are too many coincidences in your story? You obtain the map, but lose it, and then it's found on the thief who has robbed your clients? I know nothing of coincidences. I only make locks. Well, did you know this man, Hector Villon? Did you know Hector Villon? This is the first time I've heard the name. That's interesting, as you were seen draining several bottles of wine together at the Ginger Margot Inn. Is that a crime? No, but the question is, why are you denying it now? Was your drinking spree just a deception for discussing the burglary? Nobody I had a drink with introduced himself as Hector. I didn't plan any heist with any Hector, Victor, or Hugo. I'm a locksmith, and I earn good money from it. Burglaries are for vagrants without a job. So no one introduced themselves as Hector. I didn't plan any heist with any of these people. Did you plan a heist with anyone of any name, sir? Did you give Hector the map? Did you give Hector the map with the victims' houses marked on it? I gave nothing to Achilles, Hector, or any other Greek. Call in the witness. Call in Rude. Jean Rude in the flesh. You will not speak unless called upon. Naturally, of course. What went missing during your burglary? My house was the first one to be robbed, and in my case it was mostly valuables. At Rue's house, he will not say it himself, and I do not want to go to prison. It was the letters he exchanged over the years with King Louis. Damn monarchists. Salon did not lose a thing. He shot that vermin in the act. That's what he said. What happened to the items he had stolen? That still remains unknown. According to Salon, Hector had nothing with him. Ferdinand suspects he had hidden the other valuables somewhere. He hid the other items before robbing the last house? That's strange. You look upset. What are you afraid of? Or advance payment in the form of a map, its disappearance, the murder of a burglar, and a lack of payment for services. Advance payment in the form of a map, disappearance, the murder of a burglar, and a lack of payment for services. Let's go with that one. It makes for a rather strange story, a suspicious one too. I do not... What are you mumbling? If I say something, will I be free? He knows something. Please testify what you know immediately. That map was Salon's idea. He told the thief about the advance payment we gave to the locksmith and proposed that Hector steal it. Okay, hold on. You're just like admitting the whole story is fake? He told the thief, so you guys knew the thief, and you proposed that the thief steal the map. And he did? Indeed. But then the bastard robbed us. Later we were forced by Salon not to pay the locksmith because he sent the thief after us. No, it sounds like you... I'm so confused. You sent the thief. You told the thief to steal the map. I don't understand. And that's when it all went down the drain. That's the bourgeoisie for you. He fooled them all in one fell swoop. It sounds like Citizen Salon had everything planned. However, there's no evidence to support the claim. Perhaps it is Citizen Rude that is plotting against his partner and wants to frame him. And Villon is dead, so he'll not be able to shed light on any of this. I feel like my tongue is all tied up in knots in this episode. If I was younger, I'd give that Salon a drubbing. That pig, that good-for-nothing lying bastard. Please restrain yourself. The testimony of a witness is still not evidence, neither of Citizen Salon's guilt, nor of your innocence. Did you tell Victor how to open things? Did you tell Victor how to open the locks? I understand what you're implying, but consider this. If he sold the secret of my locks, then my business would be over. Word spreads fast among thieves. That's it. So I don't think we have enough, I mean, the jury wants to acquit you. So the common folk will like it. Revolutionaries, not so much. I mean, I don't see that you're guilty. I have no evidence. You were with a man. You were drinking with him. I mean, you were seen with the guy. But then there was all this weird evidence. Even though they said that that was not evidence of your innocence, I'm going to say it is. Because there's just too much. There's not enough concrete details in this story. So, you get acquitted. Common folk really love it. Revolutionaries, not so much. The jury votes in favor of acquitting the defendant. They find him innocent. We agree with the jury. The verdict for citizen Olivier Moulier is not guilty. Lead the defendant away. Bravo! Away with the bourgeoisie! To be honest, this does bear the marks of social justice. They would not pay him, so he had them robbed. There is balance here. I don't know. I'm still not convinced that he did it. Unless I'm just really confused by what I read. Common folk +5, revolutionaries -6. Alright, let's go on to the home. Let's go see what's going on at our house.
King Louis XVI. There were people who truly loved him. He reminded the French they had noble ancestors. Do not be manipulated by people who are not bearing the burden of responsibility. This saddened me. Someone had advised him to say that. Someone who was well aware of the cold, inevitable wind of change. I did not pity the king, but those who will come after him, as they will not have great ancestors.
If you say so. One of us. Frenchmen marched in the street of Paris side by side, one line after another, to commemorate Jacques-Guillaume Simoneau. He was murdered by a furious mob, punished for a law he did not enact, but was obliged to observe. Freedom of speech killed him. If we understand this as the right, to cast stones to show one's discontent, the right to murder people because you deem them responsible for your miserable life, surely the people of Paris would prefer it if we said that nothing happened. You're confusing me a lot, game. Maybe it's just because it's nearly midnight and I'm just not understanding. But whatever. Common folks endorsement -3. Revolutionary endorsement +1. And I was wrong. Okay. I'll explain why I was wrong in a minute then. Your son is rather good with the viola. He is both talented and enthusiastic, says Jacques-Louis David. I prefer that he was as enthusiastic about the law books I give him. Maybe his destiny is to become an artist, not a lawyer. Mother likes to hear me playing, and there is nothing more boring than law. See, he would rather let his career rely on the humors of the people. There are many ways to rescue France. Believe me, our country desperately needs something to ennoble it. The power is in the hands of simple, illiterate people. Let him rescue their souls with music. That is better than boring laws and clauses. See what you're doing? You're spoiling my child. I do not have my own children to spoil, so I am focusing on yours. Speaking of which... Oh, no. Okay, so... I was wrong. I said that this was us. This is our grandfather. Not us. Locked action. After various important events, you may find yourself with an action forced upon you. On this day, you become the victim of your own decisions. So we can't select anything else. Because we are Alexis, not Eldrick. We have to choose Simoneau. You attend the parade in memory of the lynched official. My grandfather, or my father, likes it. My older son and my wife do not like it. Day 3, and this is where we will end the episode as soon as we have a chance.
That is our new symbol of freedom. You can still smell the fresh wood.
Do you feel free looking at it?
Individuals like us do not need symbols, but France does. Did you hear the news of the day? People are running around like headless chickens and yelling about Louis and his entourage escaping Paris.
So, we will not be enjoying the aroma of fresh wood for long.
Monuments like that are not installed solely for the purpose of punishing thieves or lesser aristocrats.
Do you think it wants to taste royal blood?
Definitely.
Louis's flight was a stupid move, yet it seems it was planned. One of us will sacrifice him. That is, if they catch him.
Is that why Louis visited us at the court? To manipulate us?
Maybe deep in his heart he felt what the builders of the guillotine did. That someone has to be exposed as a traitor, even if there is none.
Okay, game. Just always confusing me, honestly. Well, we will quit the game if we can, but I guess we probably have to read a little bit more. Welcome, Citizen Fidel. That's us. My name is Antoine Quentin Fuqua de Tinville. You're Antoine to me from now on. I'm the public prosecutor that has been assigned to assist at every tribunal trial starting from today. Why are you here? I should warn you that I'm uncompromising, although I hope that we find common ground. In happier news, the construction of the guillotine has been finished. We may begin using it today, so we can now sentence people to death. Yes, we have seen it. We have indeed. The king is gone. Treason! Anyone with information about his whereabouts should immediately disclose it to the authorities. From Robespierre. Alright. Good relations with your younger son. Good relationships with your father. Let's go ahead and end the episode here, I believe. And then we will figure out what's going on with this guy the next time we record. And I don't know when that is. But whenever that is, we'll figure it out. So, thanks for joining me. Hope you enjoyed it. And hope to see you again next time.